Hello, my little friends. Welcome to the Littlestory channel. I'm Bella. Have fun and learn with today's story. Remember, every story has something special to teach you. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you won't miss the new stories. Shall we begin? Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Dennis, only 4 years old, who had a special love for adventure. He absolutely loved playing hide and seek, especially in the most unusual places where no one could find him. But Dennis had a little problem. He never wanted to stop the game, even when people asked him to come out. What's going to happen now, he'd think, getting more excited. One day, Dennis and his mom went to the supermarket. He held her hand tightly at first, but when they passed by the toy aisle, Dennis's eyes lit up. What's back there in the far end of the aisle, he wondered, feeling that thrill of a new adventure. Taking advantage of a moment when his mom was distracted, Dennis slipped away from her hand and quickly hid between the shelves. First, he crouched down behind a big stack of soup cans. Then, he saw a large bin of teddy bears and couldn't resist. He climbed in between them and stayed very quiet. Will anyone be able to find me? He thought with a grin. But the game of hide and seek was getting a bit more serious. Dennis decided to explore the next aisle and then another, and before he knew it, he wasn't sure where he was. Where could my mom have gone, he wondered, trying to look over the top of the shelves. Is she looking for me? Instead of being scared, Dennis felt even more curious. He wandered down aisles full of lights and strange smells until he found a part of the store he had never seen before. It was full of high shelves with mysterious things, cleaning supplies, giant brooms, and even some boxes stacked on the floor. What could be inside these boxes, he thought, carefully touching one of the lids. Just then, Dennis heard a distant sound. It was his mom's voice calling his name. But he was too far away for her to hear him back. Now what? Will she be able to find me? He thought, unsure of what to do. Suddenly, an older lady working at the store saw him and asked kindly, "Are you lost, dear?" Dennis, always the adventurer, just laughed and ran to the next aisle. To him, it was just another thrilling game. So, what's going to happen next? Will Dennis find his mom? Or will his adventure take him somewhere even more mysterious? Dennis's story ends here for now, waiting for the next chapter of his great adventure. After all, who knows where he'll go next? Dennis continued his journey through the store, darting between aisles and weaving through towering displays. He found himself in an aisle filled with boxes of cereal that seemed as tall as mountains. What's inside these colorful boxes? He wondered, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. He tried stacking a few smaller boxes on top of each other, making a small fort. But just as he settled in, a loud clang echoed from behind him. What was that noise? Dennis whispered to himself, peeking over his cereal box fortress. As he looked around, he spotted a tall man with a name tag, one of the store employees, slowly pushing a cart. Dennis crouched back down, holding his breath. Will he find me here? He wondered, half excited and half nervous. The employee's cart passed by without stopping, and Dennis let out a sigh of relief. But now his heart was beating faster. The excitement of the game was starting to feel just a tiny bit scary. For a moment, he thought about calling out for his mom. But what if she's still far away, he thought, suddenly feeling very small among all the towering shelves. Then he heard another voice nearby. It was a little girl, about his age, holding her mom's hand as they walked past. "Mom, "Why is that boy hiding behind the cereal boxes?" she asked, pointing right at him. Dennis froze, unsure if he should laugh or duck further down. The girl's mom smiled and said, "Oh, maybe he's on a big adventure, too." She gave Dennis a gentle wave, as if she understood. Dennis waved back shyly, feeling a little braver. Could there be other kids who like adventures like me, he wondered, and for a moment, he didn't feel quite so alone. Just then, the store intercom crackled to life. "Attention shoppers, if anyone sees a little boy in a red sweater and blue jeans, please bring him to the front of the store. His mom is looking for him." Dennis felt his cheeks go red. "Oh," he thought. "Does this mean the adventure is over?" But he was still in hiding mode, and a part of him was tempted to keep exploring, to find just one more secret corner. Or should I go to the front and find Mom? He wondered, his heart racing. What would he decide? Dennis took a deep breath, feeling his heart race as he crouched behind the cereal boxes. Hearing his mom's name over the intercom made him pause. The thrill of the game was starting to fade, replaced by a feeling he hadn't experienced before, a little tug of worry. As he crept out from his hiding place, he saw the other kids with their parents, holding hands or walking closely by their sides. Watching them made Dennis remember how warm and safe it felt when he was close to his mom. Maybe this isn't as fun without her, he thought, his small smile fading. He began to walk slowly towards the front of the store, hoping that his mom was already there. But on his way, Dennis found himself surrounded by shelves he hadn't seen before. The toys, shiny gadgets, and colorful snacks were like a final test of his resolve. Should I look just a little longer? He asked himself, eyeing a wall of glittering toy cars. But as he reached for one, he remembered his mom's voice saying, "Stay close to me, Dennis, stores can be confusing." Suddenly, it didn't seem like such a game anymore. He realized he didn't really want to play hide-and-seek without her. Maybe all those warnings his mom gave him weren't to stop his fun, but to keep him safe. He looked around, a bit nervous, but finally whispered, "All right, adventure, maybe I'll see you next time." With determination, Dennis picked up his pace, dodging a few more displays until he finally saw a familiar figure near the checkout, his mom, her eyes scanning the store, looking worried. The moment she spotted him, her face broke into a relieved smile, and she knelt down, arms open, waiting for him. Dennis ran to her, feeling a warmth and a sense of relief wash over him. "Mom," he murmured, holding on to her tightly. "Dennis," she whispered, stroking his hair. "I'm so glad you're okay." She held him for a moment before gently saying, "Did you learn something from your big adventure?" Dennis looked down, a little sheepish. "Yeah, maybe exploring is more fun when we're together." His mom smiled softly and took his hand, walking him towards the exit. And as they left, Dennis looked back at the store one last time. The shelves and aisles didn't seem quite as magical without his mom by his side, and he realized that maybe, just maybe, some adventures were meant to be shared. Dennis held his mom's hand tightly as they walked out of the store together. The relief and happiness he felt made him feel safer than any hiding place he'd ever found. He looked up at her with big eyes, still full of both wonder and the lingering memory of fear, and said in a small voice, "Mom, I'm really sorry for hiding. I just thought it would be fun, but I didn't want to be lost." His mom stopped, kneeling down so she could look him in the eyes. She brushed his messy hair away from his forehead and gave him a warm, forgiving smile. "Thank you, Dennis. I know you love to explore and find little adventures. You have a big, brave heart, but it's also important to know when a place is too big to explore all by yourself. Dennis nodded, feeling something new and warm inside, the comfort of knowing that adventure could be even better when he shared it with someone who loved him. He didn't have to prove anything by hiding, he realized, because the real adventure was enjoying the world while being close to those who cared for him. On the way home, his mom noticed his quiet smile, and they stopped for his favorite ice cream as a special treat. Sitting together on a park bench with their ice cream cones, they laughed and chatted about all the fun things they could do together. Dennis was now bubbling with excitement, but this time, it wasn't about hiding or slipping away. This time, he was thrilled about all the adventures they would share side by side. He knew that even the biggest, best hiding spot could never be as amazing as exploring the world with his mom by his side. Lessons from Dennis's adventure. Safety first, Dennis learned that exploring alone in big places could be fun but also risky. By staying close to trusted adults, he could still find excitement and stay safe. Listening is important. His mom's advice wasn't to spoil his fun, it was to make sure he stayed safe and enjoyed himself fully. Listening to those who care for us can make our adventures both safer and more meaningful. The joy of togetherness, Dennis discovered that sharing experiences with loved ones made them even more special and memorable. Adventures are better when they're shared. Bravery and responsibility, Dennis showed courage in finding his way back, but he also learned that true bravery means being responsible and making good choices. In the end, Dennis's story teaches us that real adventures happen when we are safe, cared for, and surrounded by those who love us. Sometimes, the best journeys are the ones we take together. Did you enjoy today's episode? If so, please give the video a like and leave a comment below. Tell me what you learned. Share it with your friends so they can join our adventure too. Also, check out this story here, it's amazing. Trust me,